Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new commentary video. Before this video gets started, I just want to say thank you all so much for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me that you are checking out our content today over here at Point C. We would really appreciate it if you chose to subscribe. Currently, over 90% of viewers are not subscribed, and we would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. You can change your mind at any time, and we post pretty much every single day. Currently, it's 5 days a week. It's about to go up to 7. So I just thought I would mention that if that entices you. I upload 2 videos like this twice a week. So, stop by. But anyways, I just want to give one last shout out before we get started on with the video. Like always, this video is sponsored by Dummy Energy. I will be talking about them later on in the video. If you are curious, they're currently running a BOGO sale where you can also use our code Sigma934 or use the link in the description for 10% off of any order on the website. That still includes the BOGO discount. So go ahead and get your W Energy if you need to restock. Anyways, without further ado, we're going to get right into this. So today is going to be a little bit different. Usually I sit down and I talk about one topic. That's not the case. I have a handful of topics here. We're really inspiring today's episode based off of, Mail Monday with Woody's Gamertag and also jschlatt's, weekly slap series where he also does the same thing. So I have, just a handful of topics and I wanted to talk about them. These are some topics that I've sort of touched on in the past that maybe could use a little refresher or stuff that I don't feel needs a whole video dedicated to it. So we're going to hop right into this and we're going to start with a bit of a heavy hitter here. So so here is the comment. Should I break up with my girlfriend? Hey Hunter, I want to say thank you all so much for the content that you guys have been making over at Point C for the last few years. I found you guys relatively recently and I really enjoy the content. Thanks, man. We're going to keep doing that for you. All right, anyways, moving on here with his comment. I'm currently 17 and I've been dating a girl for around 6 months. Everything has been good except she constantly is feeling that I am not giving her enough attention. For a little bit of context, I work quite a bit of hours along with also making content outside of my job. She has given me an ultimatum that I need to spend more time with her or I'm going to have to give up our relationship and focus on content. I don't know what to do because I don't want to give up my dreams, but I also don't want to give up the girl that I'm in love with. What should I do? Okay. Well, I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial here that some people aren't going to tell you, but I'm going to be honest. Breaking up might be the option here. And here's the thing. First, I would have a conversation with her because here's the thing. Unfortunately, men and women see success in different ways. And that's not saying that women can't be successful, of course, but typically, men and women see success differently, and success drives them in different ways. For men, it drives us in a very specific way where we need it, and we crave it, and we want it. And the unfortunate thing is that at times we will do anything to get it, including destroying relationships. And here's what I'm going to tell you. She's kind of got to understand that, because here's the thing. Like it or not, how our society is built is that you need to get ahead, right? That is sort of how our society is built. And it doesn't matter if you do or don't like that. That's how the system was fucking built. I don't like it, but we can't change the system overnight, right? I did not create the system and we can't stop the system overnight, right? So I want to make that clear. And unfortunately, especially at your age, it's a really important time to learn new skills, learn to grow, learn to focus on yourself and, build a career. Build a fucking career. All right, with my current partner, we've been together for over a year. We've had discussions about me giving them not enough attention, and they feel like I'm putting content and work above them. And in some cases, that is true. And I took a step back and I really focused on our relationship. And that's valid. But there is a point where it's not. There is a point where it's like, look, you need to understand that I'm building us a life. I'm not doing this to spite you. I'm doing it so that we can both have a successful life. And I think you need to express that to her. I really think that's really important because a lot of people don't do that when they talk about this topic. Is they're like, all right, yeah, fuck the girlfriend, get her out of your life. She's a drag. No, I think you should try to explain it to her. Be like, look, I may not be the best and I understand that I'm probably not giving you as much attention as I should, but I'm doing this for a reason. I'm attempting to build us a life and I'm attempting to build a career where we can spend that time together, right? Because here's the thing. Early 20s, mid 20s, your late teens to mid 20s are going to be the busiest time in your life. especially if you're somebody that's going to go to college or you're somebody that is working on building a career, right? Is that you're going to spend a lot of fucking time building that up. You're going to spend a lot of time burning bridges. You're going to spend a lot of time finding yourself and creating the path for yourself. There's no fucking path for a lot of us, right? There is no path. For a lot of us that are trying to make it, there is no path. And unfortunately, sometimes people don't understand that. They feel like you're cutting them off. They feel like you're being distant because you hate them. That's not it. And I want you to express this to them. I want you to make it clear. Look, I'm trying to build something. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I was dating a girl for about like 2 months, my freshman year of college. And she kind of felt that way too. She was like, look, I know that you're building something here, but I cannot live like this. And I was like, look, that's fine. I'm glad that we figured this out now and not a year into the relationship, right? Because the thing is that unfortunately, I'm really, really dedicated to this. I work a lot of hours and then I come home and I work on this. And of course, I still give my partner attention. I want to make that clear. But the thing is that you cannot be complacent with being second place, right? You have people like, there's a good example of this is I want to use Mr. Beast for a second. Mr. Beast has spent holidays not with his family but working. I think that's a bit extreme, but that's just an example here. And the reason why he does that is he talks about how even the top people take it off. But if he works every single day, including those days, he is going to get ahead. And I think that is a super important factor, and I think that is really important to think about. Think about what is more important to you. Is it that success or is it your relationship? And I'll be honest, man, you're only 7 months in. That's what I'm going to leave you with. You are 7 months in. I want you to sit on that. I want you to think about it. First, I want you to have that conversation with your girlfriend and be like, look, this is what it's going to be. I am chasing after this goal for a life for us, not just for me. I want it for both of us. I want you to express that to her. And I want to make sure that you let that ring clear, that you're not doing it to ignore or to piss her off or to make her feel less. I want you to be very honest and upfront and realistic when you talk to her about this situation. So we got another one here. How do I deal with my depression? Hey, what's up, Hunter? I'm currently 15 and I'm struggling through depression. Over the last 6 months or so, I have felt no energy, no motivation to get things done. I'm very stressed out over school, went through an awful breakup, and my parents tell me that I need to get out. I feel like I'm lost and I don't know what to do. Just wondering what you would suggest to start doing in this situation. All right. So, number one, first thing that I'm going to tell you is that, once again, I'm not a medical professional, and I'm going to give you advice from somebody that is not a medical professional and that I'm not able to diagnose depression, and I'm going to talk about 2 types of depression, right? So, here's the deal. In medicine and in psychology, is essentially we kind of have 2 definitions for depression. We have genuine depression that is caused by an imbalance in hormones. Then we have another depression that is set on by different things that are going on in our life, right? And here's the deal. I'm going to give you some suggestions of things to try. If none of these things work, I would suggest talking to a medical professional, and they can start helping you balance those hormones that are affecting you. That's what I'm going to suggest. But here's the thing. Depression, a lot of the times, especially when I've gone through depression, I've gone through these bouts where I've been really fucking sad and I've hated myself. I've hated myself. A lot of that roots from a few different things, right? And one of the major things that you can start doing to really start trying to help with that depression is getting out. That is one thing I will tell you. I will sort of agree with your parents on this a little bit. It can help. It doesn't help everybody, so I want to make that clear. But I do recommend maybe trying it. So I've talked about this a little bit, so I'm going to give you a few different examples of things that I would try. So here's number one. Is one of the major things that are going to bog you down is your motivation and your passion for things, right? What I would really recommend before trying other things is start by cleaning your room. And the reason why I'm going to suggest this is that by cleaning your room, as small of a step as it is, you are creating an environment where you are telling yourself that I want to improve, I want to change, right? You've just changed one thing in your life. You've cleaned your room. You're slowly but surely starting to create your own mindset, your own mood, whatever, right? You're starting to do these things. Do it. Do it today. I want you to put this on while I talk and just start cleaning up your room. Whether if that's clothes, wrappers, whatever it is, just start cleaning it up. Okay. And what you're going to notice and what you're going to find is that you're going to start building motivation from this, right? It's going to change your perspective, and it's sort of going to kickstart your mind into thinking, wow, I've changed one thing about my life. What else can I change? What other things can I do? Because the thing is about the human brain is that it's a weird fucking thing, right? And especially in the current day, it's constantly yelling at us. It could be telling you, I fucking hate myself. I hate the way I look. Whatever it may be. It could be telling you that you're a fucking failure. I don't know what it's telling you. But the thing is that is a really common thought, especially at your age, which is a true struggle, right? So I would really suggest cleaning your room. I would also suggest getting out a little bit. I don't mean going out to parties. I mean, just, not being afraid to step outside, experience the sunshine, soak up the vitamin D a little bit, and experience life, right? Because here's the thing. If we're sitting inside all day and we're rotting away and we're not giving our mind and the body the energy and the excitement that it needs, we're going to struggle. Our mind and body is not going to be able to succeed and grow in the same way that it could if we're giving it that sunshine, the sunshine that it craves, the energy that it wants, the life force that it needs, the environment that it needs, right? So I would suggest getting outside a little bit. I would also really start to try to break down what is going on inside of your life to really make you feel this way. For you, you've talked about a breakup, right? And breakups suck, right? And the thing is this. It's really hard to get over a breakup. Heartbreak is one of those things that is so weird and is so indescribable. We've never really found a true way to get over this person. And, especially in modern times, we've tried to find a way of being like, oh, hookup cultures and rebounds, which I don't suggest. But, you have these ideas that some people have tried to come up with in the last decade or so to get over these things. And the truth is that a lot of them don't work. But what I would recommend is really trying to step outside of your comfort zone, try a few new things, find new hobbies, find a hobby that is not a sort of a source for quick dopamine release. And that's a big thing that we fall into. When it comes to burnout, when it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety, a lot of the times we like to fall into these traps where we use these quick release dopamine hits, right? For some people, that's alcohol. For some people, that's weed. For some people, that's video games even, right? We have these things that are addictive and are quick dopamine releases, but they're not going to help, unfortunately, right? They help in the short term and you're like, oh, dude, I feel so great while I'm doing this. But as soon as you're done, unfortunately, it's gone. Your motivation is gone, your passion is gone, and you're really just doing it as an escape mechanism. That is the unfortunate part, is that you're using it as an escape mechanism. I talked about it with burnout a bit. You're using it as a escape mechanism, and you can't do that. And what I'd really recommend is finding a new hobby, whether if that's art, that's music, that's writing, whatever it may be. Just do something you haven't done before that you've had a passion for. If your big thing is gaming, try game design. If your big thing has been art or music, do those things. Try those things. This is the perfect time to experiment and to figure out what you're good at. We're not talking about building a career. We're finding something to help you get your mind off of what you're struggling through. And I think that's really important, is if you sit around and wait for things to get better, they're not going to get fucking better. If you're not improving, if you're not finding something to be like, all right, I'm going to try this thing to help myself get through depression or anxiety, it's not going to work, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but it's not. I try to tell that to people all the time. There is examples of people that have spent a long time, grieving over their ex, or they haven't worked through their depression or their childhood trauma that just builds up, because guess what? Your mind is always thinking about it. Your mind is this weird thing that is constantly thinking and constantly creating the worst scenario. And you can't let it do that. You need to be able to fight back in some form or capacity. You need to be able to say, fuck you, brain. I'm going to create something cool. I'm going to create something new. I'm going to create something that I'm passionate about. I think that's something super cool that we should all do. For me, it's video creation and music on the side and writing and all these things that I've, fallen in love with, and critiquing art on Twitter and looking at weird fucking, performance art pieces that I fell in love with fucking years ago, all this type of shit. So I think that's really important to think about when you are looking for a way to sort of try to work through your depression and really try to grow as a person and to get out of the slump that you are unfortunately struggling with. And once again, I would mention that if, some of these things don't work, you don't feel better after a while, I really would recommend talking to a medical professional, because that could be a true imbalance of hormones. And no matter what you do, no matter how much sunshine you see, you're never going to get better. That unfortunately requires therapy and medication. So I just want to be upfront when I say that. All right, so we got the last one here of the day. So this one is going to be a bit different, a little bit of a lighthearted topic that I wanted to chat about here. Hey, what's going on, Hunter? I know that you talked about it a little bit in the past, but I'm just so curious. What inspired you to make content, and who inspired you to make content? You could dive into the type of people that have inspired you, and what specifically about them did you take from them? All right. So this is a really, really loaded question. So here's the deal. I mentioned it at the beginning of this video. jschlatt and woodysgamertag in particular inspired this series. If you guys haven't watched the Weekly Slap or Woody's Gamertag's old videos, both of those videos really meant a lot to me. They are two people that genuinely got me through some of the tough times in my life. Woody's Gamertag was always there when I was a kid, and he is one of the OG COD commentators. And what made Woody so different, I've talked about this a bit before, but I really want to dive into it today. What made Woody so different compared to everybody else in the scene, like Hutch, C-Nanners, fucking all these people that were doing what he was doing, is that Woody was giving life advice, right? He was giving advice from the perspective of somebody that at that point was 35, had a real job, was a computer programmer for Cisco. He had 2 children, one of which was special needs, and he was married for, 15 years or whatever it was at that point. So here's the deal about that. That right there sort of inspired me throughout my childhood. Sort of this idea of what you can be and where you come from does not matter. That's really where Woody always was kind of like this father figure. And I had a father figure in my life, but my father didn't talk to me about a lot of these things. He didn't understand my passions. And that's nothing against my dad. It was just we're very different people, and he has a very different line of work than me. So it was sort of like this little mini adult figure that I had to look up to in a way. And he was playing the game that I was loving: Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, all these games that I fell in love with. And then jschlatt. I want to talk about jschlatt really quick. jschlatt, I really took his humor. I really took his humor style, and what I really like to joke about, politics and what's going on in the world. I kind of took that and ran with it. You guys don't see that humor as much anymore. I want to, if you watch the Point C reviews video, that will really come out in some of the older commentaries and stuff that I made. But currently, when it comes to these videos, I took that sort of style of what he's doing too with COD commentary, and I really wanted to run with it. So that's really what I took from him. And those are 2 people that really inspired this series. But another person that really inspired me that I don't really mention as much is Some Call Me Johnny. Some Call Me Johnny is a YouTuber that I still watch to this day. What a guy. He was inspired by Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd. So think like game reviews and in their style, except not as raunchy. And he truthfully makes the content that really inspired me to make content. He has such a way of making content, such a way of talking about video games, and just the way of speaking that really made me interested in content. And I've always loved what he did. And, especially where he came from. He came from a low class family, and, he's the oldest of a group of brothers, single mom, and he's helped his brother, his uncle, and his best friend create content lives, right? They've done things together and created their own channels to be their own people and grow their own communities. They run a channel together called Super Gaming Brothers, which is still debatably my favorite YouTube channel on the platform. I watch them almost every single day. It's like Game Grumps, but better. I prefer them over Game Grumps. Game Grumps it's like too Zoomer humor for me. But these guys oh man, those videos are fantastic. He's just worked in a lot of projects that I really am passionate about. He does a lot of charity work, and he's just a really good guy. And he really taught me a lot about morals and content morals and who we are as people. And I really appreciate Some Call Me Johnny for that, because, especially at the time in YouTube when there were so many awful influences on the platform for kids my age, you know. I wasn't quite in the age for Team 10 or anything like that, but I was in this weird age where we had people like, C-nanners and Filthy Frank and iDubbbz and these people that were just such awful fucking people. Like, and they're funny, but they're awful fucking people. They are, let's be honest. Like, they're super funny, and I quote Filthy Frank all the time, and I bring up old iDubbbz clips, and I bring up Max Mofo all the time. But the truth is that they're awful fucking people. Like, they were making, they were very edgy humor, right? And I love edgy humor. I love Lucy Kay. I love Patrice O'Neal. I love these people. But that's not what I needed, and that's not what a lot of people need. That's not what a lot of people my age needed at the time. I think for me, those were just some people that were really highlighting that and was sort of, bringing out the best in people. That was what they were always striving for, especially with Woody's Gamertag and Some Call Me Johnny, is that they were providing healthy places for people to interact and grow. They weren't trying to create fucking, hair salad and shit. They weren't, making Pimp My Wheelchair and shit like that. You know what I mean? But they weren't making content cop. Some Call Me Johnny was reviewing Mario 3 and he was playing video games with his brother and his best friend. And I still love those videos as a nice little comfort meal almost. A lot of people say that, when they go back home or whatever, they have especially if you're Southern, there's that big thing of like Southern comfort meals and shit like that. For me, it's fucking Southern comfort YouTubers, And they really inspired me to be who I am and to make content. There was another guy too, and it's really funny. I like bringing him up from time to time because he's gone batshit insane. Kurbanimani456 was one of the first YouTubers I found. He was friends with Some Call Me Johnny, and he's friends with Etika. And when Etika passed away, he went off the fucking rails, and he makes wild content where he rants, and he's gone insane. And look, that's a whole separate discussion and maybe a video for a different time. But those are just some of the people that really inspired me to create what I do. I grew up loving Let's Plays, and I still do love Let's Plays. Let's Plays were one of the first things that I fell in love with on YouTube, and I feel like I was in this age where Let's Plays were a big thing on the internet. COD commentaries and Let's Plays were taking over. It wasn't quite the Vanoss age, which I love Vanoss, but that's a whole separate story, right? I mean, those were the people that were inspiring me, the Let's Play people, the people that were commenting on their life and giving advice on shit. That's what inspired me, and that's what I do here, is that I want to inspire, and I want to be this beacon of hope for people. But yeah, I just want to share that a little bit, and yeah. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I just thought that we'd try this today, just because I've seen a couple comments and messages and things that I was like, I've kind of already touched on this stuff, or I haven't really feel like needed a whole video. But once again, everybody, I would really appreciate if you could go down there, hit that subscribe button. Once again, over 90% of viewers are not subscribed to the channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to us. We are trying to push out 7 days a week of content, so we would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Also, W Energy is running a sale on right now. They are running a BOGO. You can get 1 tub free when you purchase any other tub. You can still use our code or link Sigma934 for 10% off of your order. Go for it. Cop your merch, cop your fucking tubs, whatever you want. Go get it, baby. We hope that you enjoy this content, and I really hope that you guys enjoy W Energy. They make a good product. We wouldn't promote something that we don't believe in. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and peace.